Okay, YouTube, it's Kev here from The Kev Baker Show now. I'll be on with Anthony Patch later tonight over on Truth Frequency Radio. So please join us from 10 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and 2 p.m. on the West Coast. And tonight, it's not very often I get shocked anymore, really. With everything going on in the world, it's hard for anyone to be shocked. But for some time now, I have been telling people that Facebook, social media, more like anti-social media. It's toxic. It's too Facebook. Things you see posted on there, they would never, ever be said in public. And I absolutely despise the site. I really do. And I hate it even more now. And I think you will too after this video. Because they are only going and urging people in Australia to upload naked pictures of themselves. To protect themselves from revenge porn, of course. Check this out. This comes from Wired, from some bearded maniac called James Temperton. Yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that'll be going out screaming at the sky on the anniversary of Donald Trump's election, you know, one of these trendy beards on. But look at this here. Uploading all your nudes to Facebook isn't such a bad idea. An industry-wide database of image hashes could stop non-consensual pornography or revenge porn at source. I am not making this up. It's in The Guardian as well. You can see it here. We'll start on this. Idiots. And I do not use that word lightly because this is an idiot. Because he's actually making a case for people of any age. Yeah, that's right, youngsters as well, to be uploading their pictures to Facebook. Let's just read a bit of this. It says Facebook users in Australia are being invited to upload nude images of themselves in a bid to stem the flow of non-consensual pornography. It's a significant move against an issue that many will know all too well. More catchily, but inappropriately dubbed revenge porn, the process of image-based abuse often works like this. You're in a relationship with someone, send them nude pictures, break up, and then find that they've been sharing them online. Your phone might also have been hacked or stolen. All cases have one thing in common. Explicit images are distributed without knowledge or consent. Now, obviously, that's absolutely awful, right? It goes on to say here that networks such as Facebook and Instagram unwittingly play a major role in distributing such images. Well, there's also paedophile groups and things like that on Facebook, and they seem to do nothing about it. But if you make a post against Hillary Clinton or mention Nazis or Jews or something like that, you find yourself banned immediately, okay? And it goes on to say here, but maybe that's about to change. In a limited trial, a trial for now. Trust me, if this works, it'll go global. Facebook has partnered with Australia's e-safety commissioner to let people upload nude images of themselves to Messenger so they can be preemptively hashed. Similar trials will soon launch in Canada and the UK and Australia. And this is why I call the bearded wonder here an idiot. Because he goes on to say that it's not as dumb as it sounds. People who want to submit an image will be asked to send it to themselves on Facebook Messenger. Authorities will then notify Facebook. So Facebook need to be notified by the authorities who are obviously watching our every keystroke anyway. That's bad enough. But it says here, the authorities then notify Facebook of the submission so that the network's community operations team can create a hash, a digital fingerprint of the image. This hash should, in theory, prevent it from being uploaded or shared on any Facebook-owned platforms. Facebook could also share this hash with other platform owners such as Google and Microsoft. So they're all going to be taking a look at your naked pictures if you decide to protect yourself online from revenge porn. This trial is now live in Australia and will soon be rolled out in Canada, the UK and the US. And let's be clear, This isn't Facebook asking people for their nudes. Yes, it is. It blatantly is. They can dress this up any way they want. But what if there's some pervert working at Facebook who gets notified by the authorities that you've been uploading these images? You think you're protecting yourself? Really? Get this, so it gets even more bizarre down here. Talk about living in bizarro land. Francis Rideout. How on earth you end up with a job like this is beyond me. Because it says here that Francis Rideout, the Deputy Director of Legal Advice Centre at Queen Mary University of London, and an expert on the sharing of intimate images online. So how the hell do you become an expert in the sharing of intimate images online? What, are you studying for this course in some bizarro land university? And you, for maybe your doctorate or some thesis that you're writing, you spend 10 hours on Pornhub or X videos or some porn site like that? What's going on here? Well, she goes on to say that it'll be interesting to see how well it works. Well, for perverts looking at these pictures, of course, just to hash them, I mean, they're never going to be reused, right? Obviously, it's going to be interesting for somebody like that. About a year ago, it goes on to say here that it'll be interesting to see how well it works. Rideout also believes that the more and more people are becoming aware of the consequences of sharing such images. About a year ago, I would have said yes, it's a growing problem, but I think potentially the message is starting to get out and people are more aware of the legalities. You know, if you want to protect yourself against revenge porn or something like that, probably a good idea not to get involved in filming that kind of thing in the first place. You know, it says here if you're in a relationship, but how can you really trust anyone with that kind of stuff with this going on? And people are aware that this goes on, so I really don't think the answer to this problem is actually uploading naked images of yourself to Facebook. And me personally, I'm a parent of a teenager. How do parents in Australia feel right now that their teenage sons and daughters may well be worried about revenge porn, so they're sending nude images to Facebook? Would that make you feel at all comfortable, or like me, do you find that rather creepy? I tell you, Facebook is toxic. I wish I could get off it, but it's a double-edged sword, because running a radio show is one of the major ways that I can reach an audience and expand an audience as well. But like I say, when you scroll down the endless dross that people post on there, is it really worth having this website in the first place? And I get it, it's great. You can keep in contact with family and old school friends, but there is a telephone, you know. You can, like, go old school and talk to people and, dare I say it, even physically go and meet people. Wow. I'm honestly shocked, guys. Let's see what The Guardian has to say about this, and I'm sure I'll get into this tonight on the show because I want to get Mr. Patch's take on this as well. It says Facebook asks users for nude photos in a project to combat revenge porn. I can barely say it without keeping a straight face because, and it's not, look, this is November the 7th, that's yesterday. That other one from Wired was from today. It's not an April Fool joke. They literally want people to start uploading their nudie images. Listen, you can tell me, maybe I've got this all wrong. Maybe you think this is a great idea, but I think this is utterly open to abuse. And by Facebook, remember, every single image that you upload to Facebook, they then own the copyright. That's right. How long is it going to be before not revenge porn catches somebody out, but they're going to find themselves on one of these porn sites and they're going to wonder how they ended up there. And then maybe eventually they're going to realise it was Facebook or one of their subsidiaries who have been uploading it to them, giving it to these sites. And what can you do then? Because in the end of the day, they own the copyright. You can let me know what you think in the comments below, but I will be live tonight over on the Kev Baker Show with Mr. Patch. Again, we do every Monday and Wednesday. Hopefully Johnny Whistles will be joining us as well. I'd love to get Johnny Whistles' take on this. It's going to be hilarious to see what the big man's got to say, but please let me know what you've got to say about it. So, If you want my advice, I wouldn't be going near Facebook in any way, shape, or form if you don't have to. And I certainly wouldn't be encouraging anyone to upload their intimate images on there. So until next time, later, YouTube. PM on the West Coast. And tonight, it's not very often I get shocked anymore, really. With everything going on in the world, it's hard for anyone to be shocked. But for some time now, I have been telling people that Facebook, so check this out. This comes from Wired, from some bearded maniac called James Temperton. He looks like the kind of guy that'll be going out screaming at the sky on the anniversary of Donald Trump's election, you know, at one of these trendy social media, more like anti-social media. It's toxic. It's too Facebook. Things you see posted on there, they would never ever be said in public. And I absolutely despise the site. I really do. And I hate it even more now. Okay, YouTube, it's Kev here from the Kev Baker Show now. I'll be on with Anthony Patch later tonight over on Truth Frequency Radio. So please join us from 10 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and 2 p.m. And I think you will too after this video. Because they are only going and urging people in Australia to upload naked pictures of themselves to protect themselves from revenge porn, of course.